How are you guys doing? It is Monday, September 7th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for today's episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through, of course, playoff basketballs. That we're dealing with the second round of that, along with the first game of the Western Conference Finals, the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then additionally, there's games going on in the WNBA bubble as long as the MLB as well. And I'm just going to go through the MLB standings and also what to look forward to today because today is Monday, first day of the week. First day of the week. Let's see how let's see how sports really gets back into it today. But first, I'm gonna start with the first basketball game of the night, where the Milwaukee Bucks, the top seed Milwaukee Bucks, were able to beat the fifth seed Miami Heat 118-15, and they're able to get their first win of the series in Game 4. Miami still leads the series 3-1 following this win. For the Miami Heat, just looking at what they were doing off the bench, Tyler Hero finished with 11 points in 33 minutes, shooting 4 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from three. He also added in 4 rebounds and 4 assists with his 11 points. Going to the starters, their point guard Goran Dragic, who finished with 17 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal. He shot 5 for 17 in 40 minutes, 1 for 9 from 3. Additionally, their small forward Jimmy Butler would finish with 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. He shot 6 for 15 from the field in 39 minutes. Their small forward, Jay Crowder, would finish with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block as he shot 6 for 12 from the field in 31 minutes. All of his shots came from 3. Also, their shooting guard, Duncan Robinson, would finish with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. He shot 7 for 13 from the field, 6 for 12 from the 3 line. And their top scorer of the night was their power forward, Bam Adebayo. He finished with 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists and a steal. He shot 10 for 13 from the field, and he made all 6 of his free throw attempts. For the Milwaukee Bucks, off the bench, George Hill would finish with 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in 37 minutes. Dante DiVincenzo finished with 10 points and 5 rebounds in 27 minutes as well. Out of the starters, their elite power forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo, would score 19 points and four rebounds, a steal, and a block in 11 minutes, shooting 8 for 10 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, and he made 2 of his 4 free throw attempts. He would eventually leave the game in the second quarter with an ankle injury, on the same ankle he injured in Game 3. So he got taken out of the game, but they were still able to win. Brook Lopez, their center, finished with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block, shooting 5 for 11 in 42 minutes. Eric Bledsoe, their point guard, finished with 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. And the top scorer, and I would say at least the player with the best play of the night, was Chris Middleton, their small forward, who finished the game with 36 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. He had 4 turnovers on the night, but he still shot 12 for 28 in 48 minutes. She shot 3 for 7 from 3, including one of the biggest threes of the night, a dagger over Miami in overtime to help give Milwaukee the win, and he shot 9 for 9 from the free throw line. With this win, the Milwaukee Bucks were able to get their first win without Giannis playing at least half the game. And after losing the first 3 games, they've won their first game of the series. They've turned a little bit of momentum their way, but the Miami Heat are still 1 game away from clinching a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals. Going on to the next game, the top seed in the West, Los Angeles Lakers, were able to beat the 4th seed Houston Rockets 117-109 to tie the series at 1 after the Rockets took the first game. For the Rockets, off the bench, Daniel House Jr., their small forward, finished with 13 points, 5 rebounds, assists, and a steal in 27 minutes, shooting 5 for 10 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3. Out of the starters, their elite point guard, Russell Westbrook, would finish with 10 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 7 turnovers in 33 minutes. He also finished with 5 fouls. He shot 4 for 15 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3, and 1 for 3 from the free throw line. Additionally, their power forward, Robert Covington, would finish with 17 points and 3 rebounds in 38 minutes. PJ Tucker, their center, would finish with 18 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block as he shot 7 for 10 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3. And also their shooting guard, Eric Gordon, would finish with 24 points, shooting 8 for 16 from the field, 6 for 12 from 3 in 36 minutes. Their top performer of the night would be James Harden, their elite shooting guard, who would finish with 27 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. He finished with 5 turnovers on the night. In 39 minutes, he shot 6 for 12 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and he made 11 of his 13 free throw attempts. But the Rockets, it just wasn't enough for the Lakers, for the Lakers off the bench. Their point guard, Rajon Rondo, would finish with 10 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, and 5 steals in 29 minutes. He shot 4 for 9 from the field. Kyle Kuzma, their power forward, would finish with 13 points and 6 rebounds off the bench in 21 minutes, shooting 6 for 7 from the field. And Markieff Morris, their power forward off the bench, would finish with 16 points and 5 rebounds off the bench, shooting 6 for 8 in 23 minutes. He shot 4 for 5 from 3. Now going to the starters, it was mainly 2 starters for the Lakers. First off, their elite power forward, Anthony Davis, would lead the game in scoring with 34 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block as he played 36 minutes. He had 34 points in 36 minutes, shooting 15 for 24 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, and 3 from 6 from the free throw line. He really started to, because he was the tallest guy in the court, and he really started taking advantage of it this game. And then arguably the greatest basketball player in the history of basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers small forward LeBron James, would finish the game with 28 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks in 39 minutes. He also finished with 7 turnovers, but in those 39 minutes with those 28 points, he shot 10 for 17 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and he made 7 of his 10 free throw attempts. Like I said, with this win, the Los Angeles Lakers they've now tied this series at 1 game apiece. Now both the Rockets and the Lakers are 3 wins away from clinching a spot in the Western Conference Finals. Now looking forward to what games that are going on today. At 6:30, you're going to see the 2-seed Toronto Raptors face up against the 3-seed Boston Celtics after the Celtics took the first 2 series and the Raptors took the last 2. Following that at 9 p.m., the Los Angeles Clippers, the 2nd seed LA Clippers, are going to take on the 3 seed Denver Nuggets as that series is also tied at 1. That game is going to be at 9 o'clock. Both games are on TNT. And that's basically what to look forward to in terms of playoff basketball for Monday. Also, I'm going to take a look into this WNBA bubble just to show you what's going on there as well. The Dallas Wings were able to beat the Washington Mystics 101-94 behind Arike Ogunbowale's 39 points. Wild game. They're now 7-12 on the season. The Seattle Storm were able to beat the Minnesota Lynx, two of the West top teams. Seattle were able to beat them 103-88, 15-point win. Jewel Lloyd finished with 16 points and 7 assists to lead the Storm to this win. And finally, the LA Sparks were able to beat the Chicago Sky to get their 14th win of the season. They beat them 86-80, led by Candace Parker's 24 points and 15 rebounds. Cheyenne Parker would also add in 24 points and 10 rebounds for the Chicago Sky, but it just wasn't enough. Looking forward to what's going on today at IMG. Only 1 game between the Connecticut Sun and the Phoenix Mercury. That game is going to be on CBS. It was a rescheduled game, but they rescheduled it for today. Now jumping to the hockey bubble to show you what's going on out there, because the first day of the conference finals for the Stanley Cup happened yesterday. And yesterday, the Dallas Stars were able to beat the Golden Knights. The 3-seed Dallas Stars beat the 1st-seed Golden Knights out west, scoring on their very first shot attempt from John Klingberg. That was the only goal of the day. And, following that, Anton Khudobin, he had a really good save. Really good game. He went perfect. He had 25 saves, allowed no goals. With this win, the Dallas Stars now hold a 1-0 series lead over the Golden Knights. They are next scheduled to play on Tuesday. But before then, looking forward to what's going on today, it'll be the first game of the Eastern Conference Stanley Cup Finals as the New York Islanders take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And like I said, they're going to face off at 8 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. So that's a lot to look forward to in terms of today, because there's more than baseball and basketball going on Monday. And jumping to the MLB, starting in the East, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the New York Yankees and beat them 5-1 yesterday. Kremer would get the start. Dean Kremer would go on to allow only one earned run in 6 innings pitched, striking out 7 batters. Masahiro Tanaka would pick up his second loss to the New York Yankees after allowing 2 earned runs, 4 total runs, striking out 5 in 5 innings pitched. For the Yankees, the only RBI would go to their catcher, Eric Kratz. He went 0 for 4 for the day. Not much, but their third baseman, Miguel Andujar, did go 3 for 4 for the day. For the Baltimore Orioles, their right fielder, DJ Stewart, would go on to finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his third home run of the season. And he was really kind of the only Oriole really getting it on. And Severino would also have 2 hits. He finished 2 for 4 with a run, and Rio Ruiz would finish 2 for 4 with a run as well, as he struck out twice. With this win, the Baltimore Orioles are 19-21, and with this loss, the Yankees are 21-19, skidding from originally being the outright AL East leader. Staying out in the American League East, the Boston Red Sox hosted the Toronto Blue Jays and lost 10-8. Hatch would pick up his third win of the season as a relief pitcher, and for Boston, it would be Hall that picked up the loss. Triggs would get the start, but he would allow a run in 3 innings, striking out 4. They'd eventually take him out. Eventually for them, their catcher Plevecki would finish 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run, as he had a 3-run home run in the first to eventually put them out in the lead. Additionally, Dalbec would hit his third home run of the season as the third baseman, finished 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He was walked as well, and he did strike out twice. Peraza would hit his first home run of the season as the second baseman, finished 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a run. And Xander Bogaerts would finish 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 10th home run of the season. For the Toronto Blue Jays, their center fielder Cavan Biggio would finish 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Their elite first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. would finish 0 for 5 with a run. Their designated hitter Rowdy Tellez would finish 3 for 6 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 8th home run of the season. And their left fielder, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. would finish 4 for 6 with an RBI and 2 runs for the day. Joe Panik would also finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. And their right fielder, Derek Fisher, would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are 22-18. With this loss, the Boston Red Sox dropped to 14-28. Going out to the last AL East team, the Tampa Bay Rays hosted the Miami Marlins and beat them in the 10th inning thanks to a walk-off sacrifice fly from Brandon Lau. And following that, Rogers would get the start for Miami. He would only allow 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 10. Tyler Glasnow would get the start for the Rays. He would allow 3 earned runs in 5 innings, striking out 9. Both having pretty similar games. For Miami, it would be Starling Marte, who kind of led the way. He finished 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 4th home run of the season. For the Tampa Bay Rays, it would be their left fielder, Randy Arozarena, that finished 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. As he had 2 solo home runs in the game. He now has 3 on the season. And Will Renfroe would hit his 6th home run of the season. He finished 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. And then following that up, like I said, Brandon Lau would pinch hit, finish 0 for 1, but he'd get the game-winning RBI. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 28-13 as the Miami Marlins drop to 17-18. Now jumping out to the NL East, the New York Mets were able to beat the Philadelphia Phillies 14-1 thanks to a 7-run 8th inning and a win from Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom picked up his 3rd win. He's now 3-1 on the season. Aaron Nola would pick up the loss. Nola is now 4-3. Nola would allow 3 earned runs, 6 total runs, and 5 innings pitched. He would strike out 10 batters and in the 5 innings pitched. Jacob deGrom would only allow 1 earned run, 3 hits, striking out 12 batters in 7 innings. First, for the Philadelphia Phillies, their elite right fielder, Bryce Harper, would finish 1-for-2. Knapp would be the only player that would score. Andrew Knapp, the Phillies catcher, would finish 1-for-2 with an RBI and a run. As he scored the only run off Jacob deGrom, a solo home run in the second inning. For the New York Mets, there was a lot of great hitting. Their center fielder, Brandon Nimmo, would finish 3-for-6 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their right fielder, Michael Conforto, would finish 3-for-4 with 3 runs. Their first baseman, Dominic Smith, would finish 4-for-5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He had 2 two RBI doubles in the game. Pete Alonso, the New York Mets elite third baseman, would finish 3-for-5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He had 2 home runs in the game. He now has 10 on the season. And their left fielder, Jeff McNeil, would finish 1-for-3 with an RBI and a run as he had his first home run of the season. With this win, the New York Mets are now 19-22. With this loss, the Philadelphia Phillies are 19-17. And then jumping out to the last NL East match, the last Eastern matchup, the Atlanta Braves, who now lead the National League East, were able to beat the Washington Nationals 10-3. Josh Tomlin would pick up his second win of the season as Patrick Corbin would pick up his 4th loss. Patrick Corbin would allow 5 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 6 batters. Josh Tomlin would allow 1 earned run, striking out 2 batters in 6 innings. For the Washington Nationals, their shortstop, Trey Turner, would finish 1-for-4 with an RBI and a run. Not much going on for there. Eric Thames would get an RBI as he finished 1-for-4. Same with Asdrubal Cabrera, their designated hitter, who finished 1-for-4 with an RBI, striking out twice. For the Atlanta Braves, their elite center fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., would finish 1-for-2 with 2 runs on the day, walking 3 times. Their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, would finish 2-for-3 with 2 runs, and he walked twice as well. The Braves elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman, would finish 1-for-4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit a grand slam in the 7th inning. His second home run of his career happening in the series. It took him 11 years to hit his first grand slam. It took him 2 days to hit his second grand slam. The Braves left fielder, Marcell Ozuna, would finish 3-for-5 with 4 RBIs and a run. He hit his 13th home run of the season. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 24-16, and the defending champions, Washington Nationals, are now 14-25 on the season. And then continuing on. In Cleveland, the Indians hosted the Milwaukee Brewers and were able to beat them 4-1, led by Shane Bieber, who would get his 7th win of the season. Anderson would pick up his 3rd loss of the season as he gave up 4 runs in 5 innings, striking out a batter. Shane Bieber is now 7-0 on the season after allowing 1 earned run, striking out 10 batters, only allowing 5 hits in 5 innings pitched. For the Milwaukee Brewers, their elite left fielder, Christian Yelich, would go 0-for-3 with a walk as he struck out 3 times. Not much going for the Brewers. Their only RBI would come from their catcher, Jacob Nottingham. He'd finished 1-for-4 on the day with an RBI. So, for the Cleveland Indians, their elite shortstop, Francisco Lindor, would finish 2-for-3 with 2 runs. Their first baseman, Carlos Santana, would finish 2-for-3 with 2 RBIs. Their left fielder, Luplow, would finish 2-for-3 with an RBI. And with this win, the Cleveland Indians are 25-15, and the Milwaukee Brewers now drop to 18-21 in the NL Central. Now, staying out in the NL Central, the Pittsburgh Pirates were able to beat the Cincinnati Reds 3-2. Rodriguez would pick up the win as Chad Kuhl would get the start. He would allow 2 earned runs in 3 innings pitched, striking out 5. And then Antone would get the start for the Reds, allowing 1 earned run in 5 innings, striking out 6. Neither pitcher would get the decision as the Pirates ended up winning it in the 9th inning on a walk-off. They were down 2-1. First off, Cole Tucker got the RBI single, and then the RBI sacrifice fly will go to Eric Gonzalez in the 9th. As the Pirates are now sitting on 13 wins on the season. They're now 13-26, as the Reds are now 18-23. For the Reds, their right fielder, Nick Castellanos, would finish 1-for-3 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 12th home run of the season. And then looking at the Pirates, their shortstop, Eric Gonzalez, would finish 2-for-4 with an RBI. Brian Reynolds, their left fielder, would finish 1-for-3 with an RBI. And their center fielder, Cole Tucker you'd finish 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. With this win, like I said, the Pirates are 13-26, and the Cincinnati Reds are 18-23. Jumping out to Kansas City, the Chicago White Sox were able to beat the Royals 8-2 behind Keuchel's sixth win of the season. Matt Harvey would pick up his third loss of the season, allowing one earned run in less than 3 innings pitched. Dallas Keuchel would pitch 5 innings, allowing no earned runs, striking out 2 batters along the way. And of course, because it's Chicago, of course, their bats led them. Their catcher, Yasmani Grandal, would finish 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Edwin Encarnacion would hit his 8th home run of the season as a designated hitter, finished 2-for-5 with 4 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are 26-15 as the Kansas City Royals fall to 14-27. For the Kansas City Royals, their only RBIs came from their right fielder, Edward Olivares, who would finish 1-for-2 with 2 RBIs. He hit his second home run of the season in the 7th inning. Now, continuing in the West, staying in the Central, the AL Central, jumping out to Minneapolis, the Detroit Tigers were able to beat the Minnesota Twins 10-8 yesterday. After this game went into the 8th inning, the Twins were up 6-2 through 5 innings. The Tigers were able to turn it around. They scored 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 3 in the 8th. 8 combined runs in those 3 innings to eventually take the lead in the win. For the Detroit Tigers, Casey Mize would make the start. The young prospect, he would allow 3 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, striking out 3. Rich Hill would make the start for the Minnesota. He would allow 2 earned runs, striking out 5 batters in 5 innings pitched. But like I said, the Detroit would turn around. For Minnesota, their left fielder, Rosario, would finish 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Rooker, the designated hitter, would finish 1-for-5 with 2 RBIs. Going back, Rosario did hit his 9th home run of the season for the Minnesota Twins. And then jumping out to Detroit, their second baseman, Jonathan Scope, would finish 2-for-5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their shortstop, Willie Castro, would finish 2-for-5 with 3 RBIs and a run. Willie Castro hit his 3rd home run of the season. Also, Grayson Greiner, their catcher, would hit his 3rd home run of the season as he finished 2-for-5 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Detroit Tigers are 18-20. Oh, and additionally, their third baseman, Sergio Alcantara, did hit his first home run of the season, or his first career home run in his first career at bat for the Detroit Tigers. With this win, the Tigers are 18-20 as the Twins drop to 25-17. Staying out in the Central, but jumping back to the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals were able to beat the Chicago Cubs in Wrigley, led by Dakota Hudson to get his 2nd win of the season. John Lester would also pick up his 2nd loss of the season. He would allow 5 earned runs and a little over 3 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters. Dakota Hudson would allow 3 earned runs, striking out 4 batters and 5 innings pitched. For the Chicago Cubs, their elite designated hitter, Chris Bryant, would finish 2-for-4 on the day. Their elite shortstop, Javier Baez, would finish 0-for-3 as he walked once and struck out once. The only two of the RBIs of the team would go to Jason Kipnis, who hit 1-for-3 with 2 RBIs. For the St. Louis Cardinals, their third baseman, Tommy Edman, would finish 1-for-5 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 2nd home run of the season. Their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would finish 1-for-5 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 4th home run of the season. And also their center fielder, Harrison Bader, would finish 3-for-3 with a run. With this win, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 17-15 in the NL Central, and the Cubs now drop to 23-18 in the NL Central. Now, last but not least, I'm going to jump out west to show you the games that happened out there, just to finish off Sunday's games. In San Francisco, the Giants were able to beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-2. After scoring 2 runs in the 6th and 1 run of the 7th to come from behind after being down 2-1. After being down 2-0 at the beginning, they came back and eventually won the game 4-2. Cueto would get the start for the Giants. He would allow 2 earned runs through almost 6 innings pitched. And for the Giants, their second baseman, Donovan Solano, would go 3-for-3 as he finished with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 3rd home run of the season. Trump would hit his 3rd home run of the season as the catcher finished 1-for-2 with an RBI and a run as well. Brandon Belt, their first baseman, who in this game would go on to pinch hit. He would finish 1 for 1, and he would finish with an RBI and a run, and he hit his seventh home run of the season as a pinch hitter. For Arizona, LaCastro would hit his first home run of the season as the center fielder went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Not much going on for the Diamondbacks, but with this win, the San Francisco Giants are now 20-21, and the Arizona Diamondbacks have slipped and fallen to 15-26. And staying in the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers hosted the Colorado Rockies, and the Colorado Rockies would win this game in the eighth inning off of a 2-run home run by who else but Matt Kemp, their designated hitter, who I believe was either an MVP or an MVP runner-up with the Los Angeles Dodgers at some point in his career. He was able to hit this home run at Dodger Stadium to put his team up 2-0 in the eighth inning. I think that was a pretty big play, pretty solid play, and I kind of like the storyline that it reads. But first off, Julio Urias would make the start for the Dodgers. He would allow 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, striking out 6. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, their shortstop Corey Seager would have an amazing game. He would hit 2 home runs on the day. He'd finish 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He now has 11 home runs of the season. Dodgers catcher Will Smith now has 6 home runs of the season. Now as the catcher finished 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. AJ Pollock, their left fielder, finished 3 for 4 with a run. They had a lot going on, but it was just the Colorado Rockies were just playing better. Castellani got the start for the Colorado Rockies. He allowed 4 earned runs by allowing 6 hits and striking out 1 in 4 innings pitched. For the Colorado Rockies, their elite third baseman Nolan Arenado would finish 1 for 5 with an RBI. Framil Tapia, their left fielder, would finish 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run, as he struck out twice. Their designated hitter, Matt Kemp, the hero of the game, would finish 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He now has 4 home runs on the season, and with this win, the Colorado Rockies are 20-20 as the Los Angeles Dodgers slip to 30-12. Now jumping to the last NL West team, the San Diego Padres went to Oakland and were able to beat the Oakland A's 5-3. Garrett Richards would pick up his second win as Fires picked up his second loss. First, Fires would allow 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 4. He's now 4-2 on the season, and in this win, Garrett Richards would allow 3 runs in 7 innings and he struck out 9 batters. He's now 2-2 on the season. For the Oakland A's, their second baseman, Tommy LaSella, would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Their first baseman, Matt Olson, would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Sean Murphy, their catcher, would finish 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. And for the San Diego Padres, their elite shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his MLB leading 15th home run yesterday. Their designated hitter, Eric Hosmer, would finish 2 for 5 with an RBI. Trent Grisham, their center fielder, would finish 2 for 5 with 2 runs on the day. Jake Cronenworth, their second baseman, would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI. With this win, the San Diego Padres are now 25-17 as the Oakland A's drop to 23-14. And jumping out to the American League West, the Los Angeles Angels hosted the Houston Astros and were able to beat them 9-5 off of a 4-run 8th inning that broke their tie and pretty much put the game out of reach. Frankie Valdez would get the start for the Houston Astros. He would allow 8 runs in 7 innings, striking out 2 batters. He's now 3-3 on the season. Badia would get the start for the Los Angeles Angels. He would allow 3 earned runs in 5 innings, striking out 6. And for the Houston Astros, out of their hitters, their left fielder Kyle Tucker would finish 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. He now has 8 home runs on the season. Carlos Correa, their shortstop, would finish 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He now has 4 home runs on the season. Their second baseman, Aldemis Diaz, sorry if I butchered your name. He finished 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. Going to the Los Angeles Angels, their left fielder Justin Upton finished 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their shortstop Andrelton Simmons finished 0 for 5 on the day, but he had an amazing catch that I'd recommend watching from this day. Their elite third baseman Anthony Rendon finished 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 8th home run of the season. Additionally, their young center fielder Joe Adell would finish 2 for 4 with 2 runs on the day. Their catcher Stasi would finish 2 for 3 with 2 runs on the day. Their first baseman Walsh would finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their right fielder Taylor Ward would finish 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. With this win, the Los Angeles Angels are 17-25, and with this loss, the Houston Astros are now 21-19 out west. And in the last game, last but not least, in Seattle, the Seattle Mariners were able to get the best of the Texas Rangers 4-3 behind Justin Dunn, who picked up his 3rd win of the season. Lyles will get the start for the Texas Rangers. He would allow 4 earned runs, pitching over 6 innings, striking out 4 batters. Justin Dunn will get the start for the Seattle Mariners, allowing only 2 earned runs and striking out 4 batters in 6 innings. For the Texas Rangers, they would hit 3 home runs on the day. That's how they scored. Taveras, their center fielder, finished 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. As he now has 2 home runs on the season. The right fielder Joey Gallo would finish 1 for 4 with a mammoth home run, with an RBI and a run. He now has 8 home runs on the season. Their third baseman Kenneth Falefa would finish 2 for 3. Going on to Seattle, their designated hitter Kyle Seager, along with Corey Seager, who had an amazing game. Kyle Seager also hit a bomb today. He has 6 home runs on the season. He finished 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Seattle Mariners are 18-22 on the season, and the Texas Rangers drop to 13-26. With that said, I'm going to run through the standings very quickly just to show you where these teams stand as the weekend series are now over as they transition to their new series. It is Monday, September 7th, just starting off by saying that. I will start out west in the National League, where the Los Angeles Dodgers have the best record in baseball. They're sitting at 30-12. 5 games behind them are the 25-17 San Diego Padres, who are tied with the Atlanta Braves for the second best record in the National League. They are 5 games behind the Dodgers. 4 games behind the Padres are the 20-20 Colorado Rockies, who are 9 full games behind the Dodgers. Half a game behind the Rockies are the 20-21 San Francisco Giants, who are 9.5 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers. And they're still holding on to, and they still have a place in the wild card. And 5 games behind the San Francisco Giants are the 15-26 Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 14.5 games behind the first place Dodgers. Jumping out to the National League East, the Atlanta Braves are tied with the Padres for the second best record in the National League. They're sitting at 24-16. 3 games behind them are the 19-17 Philadelphia Phillies, who can hold a spot in the wild card in this current bracket. A game and a half behind them are the 17-18 Miami Marlins, who are 4.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves, who currently hold a wild card spot. And a game behind them are the 19-22 New York Mets, who are 5.5 full games behind the Atlanta Braves and a game out of the wild card. 4 games behind them are the 14-25 Washington Nationals, the defending champs Washington Nationals, who are 9.5 games behind the top seed Atlanta Braves and 5 games out from the wild card. And jumping out to the National League Central, the Chicago Cubs have the 4th best record in the National League. They're sitting at 23-18. A game and a half behind them are the St. Louis Cardinals, who are holding a wild card spot. 2.5 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals are the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 18-21, who are 4 full games behind these Chicago Cubs, who are a game out from the wild card. And behind them a game are the 18-23 Cincinnati Reds, who are 5 games behind the first place Chicago Cubs and 2 games out from the wild card. and 4 games behind the Cincinnati Reds are the last place Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 13-26, who are 9 full games behind the Cubs and 6 games out of the wild card. Jumping out to the American League, starting out in the West, the Oakland A's have the best record in the American League West, sitting at 23-14. 3.5 games behind them and holding a wild card spot are the 21-19 Houston Astros. 3 games behind them and 3 games out of the wild card are the 18-22 Seattle Mariners, who are 6.5 games behind the first place Oakland A's. 2 games behind them are the Los Angeles Angels, who are 17-25. They are 8.5 games behind the first place Oakland A's, and they're 5 games out of the wild card, and 2.5 games behind the Los Angeles Angels, and 7.5 games out of the wild card are the 13-26 last place Texas Rangers, who are 11 games behind the first place Oakland A's and have the least amount of wins in the American League Central. In the American League in total. Jumping out to the American League Central, the Chicago White Sox have the best record in the American League Central, standing at 26-15. They have the second best record in the American League to the Tampa Bay Rays. Behind them, half a game, are the Cleveland Indians, and they currently hold a wild card spot. And 1 game behind the Cleveland Indians are the Minnesota Twins, who are 25-17, who are 1.5 games behind the Chicago White Sox and 3 games in the wild card. 5 games behind the Twins are the 18-20 Detroit Tigers, who are 6.5 games behind the first place Chicago White Sox and are 2 games out of the wild card. And sitting at the bottom of the AL Central are the 14-27 Kansas City Royals, who are 12 games behind the first place Chicago White Sox and are 7.5 games out of the wild card. Last but not least, taking it out to the AL East, the Tampa Bay Rays have the best record in the American League, and they have the second most wins in all of baseball. 5.5 games behind them are the Toronto Blue Jays, who are 22-18, who hold a wild card spot. A game behind the Toronto Blue Jays are the New York Yankees, who are 21-19. They are 6.5 games behind the first place Tampa Bay Rays, and they still hold a wild card spot at the moment. 2 games behind the New York Yankees are the 19-21 Baltimore Orioles, who are 8.5 games behind the first place Tampa Bay Rays and are 2 games out of the wild card. And in last place, sitting at the bottom of the AL East, are the 14-28 Boston Red Sox, who are 14.5 games behind the Tampa Bay Rays and 8 games out of the wild card. So that's how the standings look right now. And as we transition into the new series, because it is Monday, here are the games to look forward to today. Because once again, it is still Monday. It's a new series, and with the season kind of wrapping up, and now that you see where the standings kind of lie with how the playoffs are starting to look, these games are starting to get more interesting. Starting at 1 p.m., Zach Wheeler is 4-0. He's looking to get his 5th win of the season as he takes on Peterson and the Mets. Peterson is 4-1 on the season. Following that, at the same time, Urania is going to make his first start for the Marlins, the same pitcher that hit Ronald Acuna when Ronald Acuna was having his leadoff home run streak. Ian Anderson's going to make his 3rd start for the Atlanta Braves. He won his last 2. He's 2-0, trying to get his 3rd win for the Atlanta Braves in his rookie season. Also, Michael Fulmer's looking to get his first start, former American League Rookie of the Year, as the Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins. Pineda is going to get the start for them. Kyle Hendricks is looking to get his 5th win of the season as the Chicago Cubs take on the St. Louis Cardinals at 4:10. Additionally, Colby Allard looks to get his first win of the season as the Texas Rangers take on Marco Gonzalez and the Seattle Mariners. Charlie Morton looks to get his 2nd win, and Max Scherzer, the GOAT-level pitcher, looks to get his 4th win of the season as the Rays take on the Nationals at 6:05. Zach Plesac is looking to get his 3rd win against Brad Keller and the Royals as the Royals and the Indians face off at 6:10. Hyunjin Ryu is looking to get his 4th win for the Blue Jays as they take on Jordan Montgomery and the Yankees at 6:37. Zach Gallen, a player who I did I did a little bit about. He has not allowed over 30 runs in his first 23 starts. That's an MLB record, and he's looking to continue that start against Kevin Gausman and the San Francisco Giants at 8:05. Christian Javier looks to get his 5th win for the Houston Astros as they take on Frankie Montas and the Oakland A's at 9 o'clock. And the last game of the night, Kyle Freeland and the Colorado Rockies look to take on Dinelson Lamet and the San Diego Padres as those two teams face off. And once again, I want to thank you for listening to all 38 minutes of this. Once again, it is Monday, September 7th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. This is The Elite. I hope everything is well. And thanks once again for hearing my piece. Peace out.